Welcome, tale tellers. It's a Wednesday night. That's right, almost there. Currently it's freezing down here in Australia. No rain, no wind, just the cold. So I'm all rugged up with my tea, keeping me warm. Nothing beats a deliciously warm Earl Grey with honey on a cold night. Tea aside, I have a fantastic story today. A crime-based story by Blasko, titled My Career Stole a Piece of My Soul. I won't ruin the story, but when you listen to this one, I really want you to think about how you would have handled this. Get a pal's opinion as well. It's always fun hearing how people would have operated differently. Before I jump in, you lovely listeners, let's do some shoutouts. Troy Shaw, Captain Keen Ears, thank you so much for your listens and support, mate. Lucky to have you, buddy. Katie Sturgill, thank you so much for your support. Check out her channel on YouTube, which is called Katie World XYX. Arkan Brother, thanks for the stories, the never-ending support and feedback, mate. We'll be in touch. I'll be going over your story during the week, mate. Cheers. Nelson Break, cheers for the likes, mate. Greg Dedrick, thanks for the like. John Yentes, who is a musician that I highly recommend you check out. He's on SoundCloud as well. Cheers, mate. Jason Bachanan, thanks, mate, for the follow. Hope I got your name right. Distracted Reality, cheers for the follow, mate. Check out their channel. Aurelia Pearson, thank you for the follow. User 262530091, thank you for the follow. User 457119622, thanks for the follow. If you change your username to names, I can thank you directly. Unless you're happy with that, that's fine. Okay, moving on. Cransians, a virtual sing and dance group, thanks for the like. And lastly, Fella Music, a producer of techno music, so check their channel out as well. Okay, you awesome people, let's jump right in. So, pretext. I'm 28 and recently landed a job with a private investigator group. It's not as action-packed as you think it to be. There's no smoky rooms, noir settings, or action-packed. Honestly, my cases consist of me driving upward of 50 miles from my apartment to stake out broken marriages and see who's having an affair. Usually, I'm sat inside a rental car in blistering heat for 10 plus hours. I piss in a 2-liter Mountain Dew bottle, and you don't even want to know how I shit. In a bedpan using kitchen-grade paper towels. It might sound like I despise my job, but that's not the case. I love it, and I'm really good at it. Now, the agency I work for has its unique quirks. My boss and fellow agents pride themselves on one thing. We are shadows. That might sound super cliche and overdramatic, but it's the truth. The first rule of our work is to never get involved in situations involving our clients and who we're watching. We only speak to them to confirm the case and give them the information we find. Nothing else. We don't go to the police. Whatever information we gather, we hand off to our client, not law enforcement, and they do whatever they like. Once the paperwork is out of our hands, it's no longer our problem. We're washed clean of this case and move on to the next. So, the story itself. This happened 3.5 weeks ago. I was tasked to drive out to do a vanilla case, meaning a wife thinks her husband is fucking another girl and can't find the details herself. I read the case folder. She claims that he's out at awkward hours, has missed work several times, and large sums of money has been taken out of his savings. Sounds like a very standard to the point case. I took it without a second thought, thinking it's an easy payday. So I begin my stakeout. They're an upper middle class family. Husband is a big shot contractor and his wife is a secretary for some no-name schmuck. Her dad is well connected, so that's how she landed such an easy high-paying job. No kids. They're in their mid-30s and only married for 3 years. He does have infrequent patterns. I followed him to the docks at 4 AM, a local bar at midnight, and a hotel with no one following him in the midday. This is pretty strange. I want to bug his car, but he never talks to anyone while driving. It would have been a waste of my resources. After a week of following this guy and being trapped in a literal oven of a car, I finally find what I was tasked to find. The husband leaves one of his sites or projects early and heads home. This hasn't happened before. When a vanilla-looking fuck like him leaves work like this, something is up. After a half hour after he arrived home, another man, who I've never seen before, enters. As I said, I haven't seen this guy before. He's a new face. He's about 6'3", bald with a white goatee. Outfit is jean and overalls and a pair of work gloves. Huh. I didn't peg the husband to swing that way. But that makes the case more interesting. They only met briefly, about 15 minutes, before the bold fuck leaves. My target seems to be quick to the finish. Time to gather more information. So they both leave to do their boring and mundane tasks. I pick the back door that leads into the living room. As I said before, wear shadows. Before I enter, I put on a hairnet, latex gloves, and plastic covers for my shoes. I look like a fucking idiot with this getup, but no one can know I'm here or watching. Once I'm in, I scout the area. I'll admit, they have a nice place. 2-story house with a man cave basement. I can't admire the work, so off to bugging I go. I think to myself, if I was a closet homosexual, where would I let a massive bald guy fuck me silly? Easy. I bug the living room, the main bedroom and the man cave itself. You wouldn't be able to notice these bugs, small and hidden. You'd have to really look to find these bastards. The only room that stood out is the man cave. 70-inch 4K TV with surrounding speakers, fine leather couches, and a recliner made for a fucking king. I was jealous, considering I've been living in a cramped and hot Honda Civic for the last week. While setting up bugs there, I found his personal gun case. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a pump action and a basic Glock 17. I don't bother. I have to be in and out. The entire process takes me 20 minutes flat. I told you, I'm good at my job. And I'm back into my rental easy bake oven. Day and a half goes by. Aside from a really heated argument, nothing of interest happens. I'm surprised his husband even sleeps in the same bed, but it's none of my concern. 2 days after placing my web, the same circumstance happens. I follow the husband from the site to his home. Half an hour later, the rugged man comes to play. Right off the bat, it's hostile. The husband offers a briefcase that's full of hundreds. Bald guy responds rather coldly. "This is half of what we agreed on." Without missing a step, the husband quips with, "Yeah, you really think I'm going to give you the whole amount before you even do the fucking job? That's when you get the other half. Then you're fucking done." I'm stressed enough even doing this. I don't need a mindless grunt like you to add even more. The bald guy gets right into his face. "This is half." The husband's face turns red. "Do you not think I can fucking count, you shithead? This is half. You get the rest when you're done." The bald guy storms out, not even taking the suitcase. Dude nearly rips the front door as he storms out. The husband takes the briefcase and hurls it across the living room, sending several $1,000s all over the place. This is interesting. I began to write out the paperwork. Husband pays some hulk of a man to fuck him, but refuses to pay up front, paying half till he finishes. Well, this is different than what I expect and usually deal with. Paperwork's done. I can then enter the house and collect my equipment, then collect my payment and wipe my hands clean. I have to wait till tomorrow to get my equipment and give the SD card to his wife. It's night. I finally get a chance to sleep in and not worry about collecting any more info. About 2 in the morning, the mic in the living room picks up something. I bolt awake and open my tablet to check the camera. It's the bald guy, picking the back door lock and entering the house. What the fuck? He's wearing all black, along with some OJ looking gloves. Holy shit. I'm at the edge of my seat, one hand holding my tablet and the other on the car door. Deep down, I want to make a brief ruckus and try to scare him off. Maybe drive my car around the block and make my presence obvious. But the company, my life and career, we are shadows. Shadows don't interfere. They watch and collect. At the time, I felt utterly sick. Right now, I have to take several shots of Jaeger to even type what happened. Fuck. The bald guy silently moves to the man cave. For such a lumbering fuck, he's silent like a cat. I watch him make his way to the husband's gun cabinet. He easily picks a lock and grabs the Glock 17. After this, I realize he wasn't a fucking escort. His purpose was far more sinister. I'm frozen. I am caught in a moral crossroad. I could break all my vows and potentially ruin everything I worked so hard for, or watch someone die. The lumbering monster silently makes his way from the basement to the main bedroom. Fuck. He slowly opens the door, and without hesitation, the wife didn't have a fucking chance. All I saw was her head bounce off her bed, her cheekbone split in half, and blood splattered all over the husband. I want to fucking vomit, but I can't leave a trace of my presence, under no circumstance. I swallow my bile, which almost came back up as the wife gurgles in her last moments. The husband, covered in his wife's blood, jumps out of his bed. What the fuck? He screams, until he's greeted with a Glock 17 right against the side of his temple. This is what you wanted, isn't it? I did the job. Where's the other half? The bald man says, mockingly. He was a fucking hitman all along. This. The husband can't even comprehend this situation. This isn't how we plan. The hitman doesn't bother listening. He pulls the trigger again. The gunshot echoes as his body falls limp. You did this to yourself, the hitman says with a chuckle. Without a moment's hesitation, he pulls out a cloth from his front pocket and wipes the gun clean of any sort of fingerprints. He places the gun in the husband's hand, coinciding with a bullet landed in his right temple. He even tightens the husband's grip on the handle to make it look incredibly convincing. As quickly as he came, he left. Now, you must think, this? Witnessing a disgruntled couple become victim of a greedy hitman was what I wanted to get off my chest. No, that was half of it. I quickly burst out of my rental, parked a block and a half away from the area, and hastily I put on my gloves, hairnet, and shoe covers. No one can know of my and my agency's involvement. I have about 10 minutes to take everything down before law enforcement gets called over as a noise complaint. The living room door was still unlocked, which saved me 3 minutes of picking it. The living room and man cave bugs were easy to collect, but the main bedroom was almost impossible. I couldn't stomach at the wife's cold face, blood coming out of her mouth, and how fragments of her cheekbone covered the whole bed. It's dark, the only saving grace, but I can feel her cold eyes looking at me, the voice of her tormented, vengeful soul reminding me I should have intervened. I could have. I probably should have. I should have just left every fucking camera and SD here so that scum of the earth can serve justice. But I have an oath to keep. A career I so desperately need. I have to be a shadow. I have to avoid the light, no matter what the cost. I took down the bedroom bugs and made a hasty retreat. I locked the living room door behind me and drifted the streets back, blending with the shadows to my rental car. Law enforcement arrived shortly after. My rental was far enough away that it wouldn't draw any suspicion that it drove away from the scene. I dropped off the car, not bothering with the mess that was left, and the empty husk that is myself quickly booked an Amtrak back to Manhattan. My boss gave me a pep talk, but I can barely remember about what. I was so hollow. His words sounded like mumbles. He said something about, "We've all been here, kid. Every one of us." He gave me the next month off to regain my composure. Even gave me a bonus pay for working the case. Honestly, the last several days have been a blur. I can't get her gurgling out of my head. It's playing on repeat whenever I zone out. Sleeping has been near impossible. In order to cope with that and the trauma, I've been drinking liquor and codeine whenever I see her face or hear her gurgle. It's very often. You guys probably think I'm a monster. Don't worry, I know I am. I take full responsibility for what happened. Instead of a shadow, I could have been an angel of mercy. But that's not how this works. I know this line of work might sound strange for anyone who's reading this. How we can easily ignore such horrors and remain in the shadows, how we can idly watch and listen without being a hero. I don't expect you to understand. I knew what this career would include, but having it actually happen is jarring. That, I guess, is the cost of doing what you must in that role. Not surprising that the protagonist felt that way. Watching a murder take place when your client who pays you could have been saved is definitely intense. But the code must be honoured, right? Let me know what you think in the comments, or even email me. What would you have done in this situation? I'd love to know, and any answers I'll send straight to the author. My email is storiesfablesghostlytales@gmail.com. So don't hesitate to say hi and share with me your thoughts. And a big thank you to Blasko, who is the author of this great story. And if you want to help grow this free channel and support authors, all I ask is that you share this channel around and leave an iTunes review. I also do shoutouts for those as well. And a special thank you to you listeners. It's people like you that keep this channel going and growing. So thank you. And on that note, listeners, this is the place where stories live, and you tale tellers come to listen. Enjoy your day or night, and join me every weekday for our creepy tradition. And as always, till next time.